Let's see if the volume is up. No, it's not. Okay. Shalom. Shalom, Barack Obama, and the town hall meeting in Raleigh. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. This is being made from Jerusalem. And the question that the woman asked Barack was, what's your strategy for the economy? And challenging the Republicans, and you didn't answer. Not very clearly. It's pretty muddled. Okay, a suggestion: the economy, the economy, the economy, and more particularly jobs, jobs, jobs. Uh, let's take one example. You've articulated, and it's resonated very well, about the bias between Wall Street and Main Street. One particular example of this is the very industry and people who produce the extremes of the products that were out there that produced the subprime meltdown. Here is a guy making $3.7 billion with his hedge fund, betting against the very products that he and his associates in Wall Street produced. In other words, they produced something that was worthless, and they transferred masses of capital market resources into predator loans and the subprime push and the balloon, and then they turn around and they bet against it. And here's a guy making 3.7 billion. Look, this is a sleeping government. Okay. Now, having said that, the solution for transforming the structure of the economy has to deal with several macro issues. The first is the redistribution grammars. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to manipulate this budget, and I'm going to do a more. That's not where it's at. The solution, the macro solution to the U.S. economy is the new economic paradigm. I'm its author. I'm an American citizen living in Jerusalem for the past 22 years. Bottom line, the DNC will table in its platform committee that the candidate will run on for the presidency on the promise of transforming the structure of the U.S. economy. On day one, he will come into office, and his name will be Barack Obama, President Obama, and he will request of the Congress a mandate to develop world-class new global technological infrastructure based on the new economic paradigm's model, and it will create tens of thousands of sustainable domestic content jobs. It will require a $4 to $5 trillion investment amortized over 20 years. Good news, 60% of that supply side projects investment will come from the G9 to be partners. It'll make America's economy the most productive for the century ahead. This is a win-win situation. It will eliminate the national debt. By the end of the first month of the project, it will be generating tens of thousands a month of sustainable domestic content jobs that will continue and increase in number through years 11 and 12, when there will be full employment, redefined, not at the 4% level, which most economies claim is full employment. Zero full employment, and we'll go into the details and the esoterics of that in another time. There will be it will eliminate the national debt. There will be no social security deficit. There will be no trade deficit. And guess what, folks? This is what we got to do to get from 14 trillion to 45 to 50 trillion. And the context model of the post-collapse of the world's east-west models, the collapse of the local reality globally, is another articulation. That's the context in which we are in history, both East and West, beginning with the East, the Soviet Union, 1991, communism collapsed, Yugoslavia the next year, Israel, 1995, its Zionism collapsed, Lebanon, Iraq, and many others, and more to come. So we have a convergence, east-west, and 9/11 brought the beginning of the implosion in America of its capital markets. Bottom line, both systems are converging to the middle. The new world-class international content model that replaces the collapse of the local realities model is Humanomics. It has two paradigms. Its new central organizing principle is receiving to give. And receiving to give means what? It means receiving the authentic you, to give the authentic you to you, to your wife, to your family, your children, community, nation, and the world. And the other paradigm is the integration of labor, the new economic paradigm. I'm the author of both. The trilogy Humanomics is about 2,500 pages in its fifth draft. It'll be published on the web with a few hundred pages of graphics. But more importantly, the structure of Humanomics is for the G9 a participatory model. And the problem that has eluded prescriptions and solution and really delivery of the dream and the promise of democracy. You know, the U.S. economy is at 14 trillion. The pie has grown, but dramatically the percentage of the pie has gone to the share owners, capital owners, and the laborers, the wage earners, an ever decreasing percentage of the pie, and it's diluted. Just as the value of the currency is diluted. And what's diluting it? There's nobody running the shop in Washington. Here, ethanol. Let's take foodstuffs. Food prices globally are soaring because it's more important to make profits than to fill people's bellies. Fill the gas tank is a priority over filling the bellies of the world. But let's give another example. You have what I started off, what I said, you have the subprime meltdown. And you've got a guy in a hedge fund making $3.7 billion in 1 year. That is 30 in 1 hour. That is 30 times the average median wage of an American family. 30 times in 1 hour. And where did this come from? The very industry that produced this absolute fraud and hoisted it up on, manipulated and transferred massive amounts of capital resources in the capital markets, turns around and knows from the inside what a sham it is, bets against it, and he's rewarded. He gets 3.7. Where's Washington? They were dead asleep. Okay, so these are the discrepancies that Barak sees, and the plan and the program is Humanomics in general, and its new economic paradigm, receiving to give. I'm the author of both. I endorse this message. I endorse Senator Obama for president. He will hit the ground running. Day one, they will legislate and the Congress will, the new president will mandate the new national platform development program for the new economic paradigm's development as world-class global technological infrastructure, and mandate in law its development, implementation, and acculturation. It will retool, retrain, and educate the entire U.S. workforce. It's a win-win situation. This, my blessed friends in Raleigh, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and Alabama and Mississippi and Illinois and Indiana and all around the country, this is the win-win situation. This is the answer to the woman's question, what is your strategy to defeat the Republicans in November? Mr. President Barack Obama, this is your strategy. It's called the beef. It's called international content. Humanomics in general and its new economic paradigm. That's your strategy, that's your plan, your program, and you're going to execute it. Sorry, I can't speak in Hebrew. With God's help, I am Yehoshua Yaakov, formerly Michael O'Donnell, living in Jerusalem for the past 22 years. Thank you. We bless you, Ralam Duri, and all of your people in your community. We bless Barak and Michelle and the girls, and we wish you Godspeed and success. Thank you for listening. Shalom from Jerusalem.